Happy Tuesday, everyone. This is Sheila coming to you from Stamping Wishes. And yes, can you believe today is the 30th, which means we only have today and tomorrow for celebration. This particular card that we're not doing this card today, but I do want to show you a couple of them that I made from the wonderful world, and that is in celebration. And this is the one card. It lays flat and opens. A real magical card. Now this card design, the original mechanism of it, came from Sharon White. She's one of our glitter queens that our upline is Don Griffith. And so anyway, there was a retreat, and this is one of the cards that they made, and I just absolutely fell in love with the mechanism. So I made this card with it. And I set this aside, and they set up really pretty. I made this one also from that wonderful world. Let's set this to the side. And then I made this one with the Santa Express DSP and stamp set bundle. So this is the one we're going to do today. So let's go ahead and let's get started. All right, let's set these aside. All right, we're going to bring in our trimmer, and we're also going to bring in some of the pieces that we're going to need. All right, so from here we're going to go ahead and cut this. Our first measurement will be 5 1/4, and that'll be 5 1/4 by 11. So let's go ahead and cut that. Move this out of the way, and then we're going to score this piece. And this piece is scored at 1 3/4, which we'll do right here. Let's move our cutting blade out of the way. 1 3/4, and then our second score line on this side is 3 1/2. Now you're going to turn it around this way, and we're going to do the same thing on this side. It's 1 3/4 by 3 1/2. Okay. The next piece you're going to need is a piece that is 3 3/4 by 5. That is for the inside piece of our card. Then we're going to need 3 layers, and we start off with a 3 1/4. This is Parakeet Party. 3 1/4 by 3 1/4. Then we have the next piece, which is black, and we cut that one at 3 1/8 by 3 1/8. And then our Poppy Parade, that one is at 3 by 3. Okay, so you'll need those pieces. You'll also need a scrap white that you'll be putting the train on, and then you'll need a little scrap black that you'll make your train tracks with. Okay, so to do our background piece, which is our base pieces back here, this white area here, you're going to need a 4-inch, and then you're going to cut it at 1 3/4 inch. So let's see if I've got 4 inches there. So then we want to cut 3 of them at 1 3. Let me make sure. Yes, 1 3/4. So there's 1 3/4, 2, and the last one will be 1 3/4. Okay, so we have our 3 pieces there. Then you want to cut a piece of your DSP, and that piece is going to measure fully by 3 3/4 by 4 7/8. So we've got it at 3 3/4, and then it goes to 4 7/8. Now this piece here you're going to be cutting into 3 sections, and each one of those sections is going to be 1 5/8. So we're going to come over here to our 1 5/8, cut 1, and then 1 5/8. We cut our second piece, and now we have our 3 pieces, and that will be the top layering for our white. All right. So let's set this aside. I think we're done with our cutter. And we're going to bring this piece in, and let's go ahead and stamp our greeting for the inside. So we'll bring our Stamparatus in, and yes, the Stamparatus is it's a tool that I can't do without. I'm not a straight stamper most of the time. Sometimes I'm lucky and I'll get it, but most of the times I'm not. So we definitely use that Stamparatus a lot. And we're going to use the Merry Christmas in it. So let's go ahead and set that Merry Christmas up where we want it. I like that. Okay, about there. All right, we're using Poppy Parade. Let's stamp up our Merry Christmas. Get my cardstock out of the way before I get some Poppy Parade unintentionally on it. All right, let's close this up because I do get red all over me usually. Come down. Give it your 8-second rule. That allows the ink to transfer onto the paper. Beautiful. My pad is about ready for re-inking. If you notice how it's a little lighter in areas, but you know, right now I'm kind of getting into that because it's almost like a variegated, so I haven't troubled myself to get in there and re-ink it just yet because I'm kind of liking the way it looks. And right now, unless I had a solid piece that I wanted to make sure that it was all nicely done, then I would definitely re-ink it. But for my lettering, I'm really liking that. All right, so for our scoring, let's go ahead and fold this, and we're going to fold it at the 3.5 on each side. Then we're going to fold back on itself the 1 3/4 area. All right, so let's go ahead and burnish this real well so it'll lay down nicely. All right, so this piece here is going to go in the inside. So let's go ahead and adhere that, and then we'll set this aside and get busy on the rest of it. Okay. So that'll be the inside of it, and let's set this aside and go ahead and adhere our little panels while we've got the adhesive out, and then we'll start coloring all the pieces that we need to color. And when I color that, I'm going to bring in the colors and show you the colors I'm using, and I'll do a little bit of the coloring, but then I'm going to go ahead and speed it up and not bore you with all of the time, because I like to take my time when I color. It's not a difficult piece that we're coloring, but it does have a lot of different colors, so I do like to take my time with it. So are y'all all got your orders ready for that end of our celebration? If not, I hope you do. And remember the mini catalog, don't delay if there's a stamp set or a bundle that you want, because oftentimes they're popular, one will become popular, and they won't be available, because remember that it says for a limited time or while supplies last. So sometimes we hesitate in ordering something we like, and then when we decide it's time to order it, it's not available. So don't let that happen to you. All right, next let's go ahead and get these panels on to the card. They're going to go across the card like so. All three of them will fit real nicely in there. What I like to do is I start at the top, and because 2 of your panels are going to go on one side, and this is very important here, you want to put your little amount of adhesive where it's going to be going, and then you line it up evenly on it as like that. Okay, now your second panel, it's going to go down here, but it is going to go to the right. That's the part that slides in behind your front area. So let's go ahead and give that a little bit of adhesive. Okay, let's make sure that's good and firm before I let go of it. Alright, you can kind of see how the mechanism's starting to work. Alright, now the last one we're going to put down in this area here. And because this is directional, I'm making sure that my fa la la is all reading up and down. Okay. And there we go. Okay, so this is our mechanism, the way it's going to work before we get the rest of it put together. Let's go ahead and get these pieces adhered so they'll be ready for our piece of artwork when we're done. Get some right here in the corner. Okay, and then our last layer is the Poppy Parade, one of my favorite Christmas colors. Bright and fun color. Alright, so now this will be ready for once we get our Santa all colored up. Alright, so let's bring over the other pieces that I've gone ahead and stamped and cut out. This is the rail, and let me show you the stamp set and the Santa train dies. This is the dies, and I use the train, I used the smokestacks here, and I used the rails. There's so many fun items to cut out there. And here's the stamp set itself, Santa and the train. And what I'm thinking about doing is playing around with this card. I don't know yet, but making a landscape shape of it where that I could maybe get both of these on there. We'll see. Well, that'll be one coming down the pike if I'm able to achieve that and get the measurements right. And for our inside, we use the Merry Christmas. But as you can see, there's a lot of fun things on this stamp. All right, so for this, we're going to be using, let me go ahead and bring my little smokestacks out too. A little trick too, when you're cutting these out, it'll cut 2 at one time. Don't try and cut all 3 because the metal around the blades won't let it line up. So I cut the 2 and then I cut the singular one by itself because that's the way you have in your dies. All right, so the colors we're using are the Poppy Parades, the Smoky Slate, the Parakeet Party. This one is Pool Party, I think. Yes, the Light Pool Party. We're using the basic blacks. We're using the flesh tones in the 900 and 1000, I believe is the shading. Yep. And then we're using the Daffodil to light marker for the light. And what we'll be doing here, just so I can show you again if you'll remember this one, and of course I don't know if you can see it in this lighting. I'm going to bring it up a little bit and see if you can, but it shimmers quite a bit in here because I shimmered all of this area. But I did this in the Smoky Slate. I did the Poppy Parade here with the light and darks, as you can see from the different tones. I used the Parakeet Party, little bit of the Smoky Slate around the beard to highlight that, the 2 flesh tones, again the Parakeet Party here, and then these are 2 little, I didn't bring them on, but I will bring them on before so you can see them, but there are our black rhinestones that'll go in there, and then our Daffodil Delight there. Okay, so let me get started on the coloring, and then I will speed it up and come back to you when we're ready to assemble. Alright, so we're just about done with the coloring, so I thought I would come back on and have a little bit of conversation with you. If you don't presently have a demonstrator and would like one, I would love to earn your business. And so today, here's the host code. If you're placing an order that is less than 150, then you would definitely want to use this code. If it's over 150, then you'll want to go ahead and not use the code so that you get all the free goodies that will come with your party of 150 or more. All right, so let me bring in this to help me hold this while we're coloring this. All right, so you can shop with me by simply putting in shopwithsheila.com, and that'll take you directly to my store 7 days a week. And if you're needing any kind of catalogs or any questions, please reach out to me on my blog, which is sheilastampingwishes.com. My contact information is there, and I would love to interact with you and answer any of the questions you might have. All right, we're coming close to being done. I think we're right about ready. Oh, we got to color in. I had a little bit of a skyish look coming in through the behind the Santa Claus where the window would be. You could do this if you wanted to make it look like it was at night. Then of course using maybe the yellow would give you a hint of there being a light on in the background. But I chose to do the pool party, the light pool party, just to kind of give it a little color there and sky effect. All right, so let's finish it off with a little wink of Stella real quick, and then we will begin to do our assembling for the rest of the card. Okay, let's not forget our little green and the light, and I wanted him to glimmer as well as his train. Because if you've ever seen that candy apple red, that beautiful color that you sometimes see on card, that's how I imagine Santa's Express would look, made up that way. Okay. All right, now we've got that together, so let's go ahead and bring the card base back in here and start assembling it. Let's put our rail down. We will trim it once we get our rail on. Put a little bit of adhesive. Let's see if we're getting it about, I think, one more place here and a little bit on the edges there, and that'll probably do it. Okay, so let's go ahead and set the railing down about there. Works for me. And once we do that, then we'll bring our scissors in and trim off the excess. What makes it nice is you can interlock these. If you have a long card, then you could interlock it and make a long card out of it. Alright, so we want to adhere this one there. And we're going to lift the smokestack, or the smoke puffs. We're going to add mini dimensionals back there. Put that about here. Here we go. And let's bring our little mini dimensionals in here. And we will start the first one, which is, oh my goodness, it's going to be difficult, huh? Let me go ahead and move it off, and then we can get it that way. Alright, so we'll go ahead and put this one here. I'm in Texas, and it's been so hot and dry this summer. But today you might hear a little bit of thundering in the background. We're starting to get a little bit of storms coming in, which we are thankful to God for that, because we have needed this rain so bad. Put one here. If you like my videos and you'd like to see more, be sure and subscribe and hit the little bell. That will alert you each time that I do put a video out. And the giving me a like helps my channel, as well as hoping to increase my subscriptions from customers and everything. So be sure and share my video. That will help get that information out. All right, so it's very important here when you line this up and place it here so that the mechanism works. You cannot adhere anything to the center panel. So what I'm going to do is line up, knowing that This is the width of where I'm going to be balancing at. And I'm going to come and put some dimensionals right above it along the area. I don't want to put them up too high because my block probably won't go up that high either. Alright, and then I'm going to bring it over here and do the same thing. I know that I need 3 of them down here, so we'll go ahead and put that 3 there. We're almost done here. I hope you've enjoyed this card, and again, my thanks out to Sharon White for the creation of the, I'm assuming it was her creation. That's where I saw it first, and I just loved the way the mechanism worked, and my mind just started racing on all the different ones. I'm going to do one with a listen to me, gnome here before too long. I think he would be just precious on a scene here as well. Alright, so here we have it, and it just slides right back in there and closes right up. Okay, and like I said, let's go ahead and move all of this out of the way and set them up here, because they really make, and I'm hoping that I will definitely in a photo show it, but it makes such pretty cards just setting out like they are here. And here's this one here that we did, and here's this one. All right, so until next time, happy stamping and God bless. Alright, I almost forgot to put my finishing touches on. I couldn't find my black rhinestones, so I went ahead and colored my regular rhinestones using the dark black in the blends. The blends is what will color these, not the markers, so just keep that in mind whenever you're wanting to match a color that you don't presently have. Then you want to go ahead and use your blend that matches, and then you get a perfect match. So there we are. Now we're finished adding those final touches to it.